Well, tonight I'm here to introduce the next Jane Alexander Global Wildlife Ambassador, someone who, as Myrta said, speaks powerfully for those who have no voice. But behind our new ambassador's words is an extraordinary combination of understanding, commitment, and personal action. Of course, Harrison Ford, our 2018 ambassador, is also just a bit larger than life. He's most commonly known for on-screen characters who are rogues with a heart of gold and a depth that takes a while to be revealed. But if Harrison were in my book, I'd not only capitalize his name, but his species. Human being. Harrison is certainly human. He's one of us with thoughts, hopes, powers, and limitations, just as we all have. But with Harrison, the second part of human being, the word being, is not only capitalized, but written in bold type, underlined, and probably beautifully illuminated sometime by some 12th century monk. Harrison is all about being. You will find Harrison being involved in a range of activities centered around, for example, thoughtful justice. You will find him being a board member of Conservation International for more than 25 years. You will find him being a boots-on-the-ground conservationist engaged in missions such as trekking through Indonesia to understand the effects of unsustainable palm oil cultivation. You will find him being a voice for ocean protection. And you will find him being not just a dreamer, but a doer. Harrison Ford is a warrior for our natural world, and that brings great credibility to his global role as an ambassador. So we commissioned an original painting by renowned artist Walter Knabe, reflecting our Harrison's commitment to Earth's tapestry, especially the most important centers of biodiversity and the personal strengths he brings to their preservation. Please stand up and welcome to our stage the 2018 Jane Alexander Global Wildlife Ambassador, Harrison Ford.
Thank you. I am delighted to be here with all of you, and I'm humbled by this extraordinary honor. I want to begin by saying thank you. Thanks to all of you who have helped to work to preserve the natural world. This night really is in celebration of all of you, of us. I grew up in Chicago, in the city. I fell in love with nature at the Lincoln Park Zoo, the Museum of Natural History, on summer farm vacations, at Boy Scout camp, and in biology class. I saw in nature the presence of something beyond humanity, something mysterious, powerful, the presence of, well, God, I suppose. I was a philosophy student in college, a very poor one. But in reading Paul Tillich, the Protestant theologian, I discovered a passage in which he writes, if you have trouble with the word God, take whatever is central and most meaningful to your life and call that God. Well, nature is my God. Later in life, I suffered an unnatural embarrassment of riches, something called Star Wars. And I found myself in a position to support those things that I cared about. I was living in Jackson, Wyoming at the time, and amongst the people that I met there were a number of people who were supporters of a new organization called Conservation International. Peter Seligman, the founder of Conservation International, encouraged me to join the board, and I've been there for more than 20 years. Protecting nature is first and foremost, for me, a moral imperative. Yet, saving nature is really about saving ourselves. At Conservation International, we have a motto: nature doesn't need people. People need nature. Well, having said that, it's clear that nature now does need people to speak to power, to speak truth to power, and to confront what's going on in our governments, not only here, but in other places around the world, and a return to sane policies which help protect nature. Our communities, our families, our lives depend on clean air, fresh water, enough food to feed our families, and a stable climate. Survival itself is what's at stake. The obstacles are not just the complexity, the enormity of the task of saving nature, but we need to push back against an elected leadership that denigrates and denies science as part of a strategy to disaggregate us and turn us against each other for their political benefit and to protect the status quo. Protecting nature is how we will continue to survive on this planet. We must insist on presenting this truth to the world, unfiltered, unvarnished, unobscured. So I ask each of you, reach beyond those of us who agree with you. Find those who need to hear this story and tell it in a way that's compelling and fruitful. If we succeed in this, we can realize an Earth that not only has cheetahs and sharks and kestrels, but an Earth that supports human beings as well as part of the animal kingdom. We don't have any time to waste. Thank you very much.